It's helpful for when you talk to people that you don't really know, because they have a total different perspective on it, and they kind of, help you put yours into perspective.
Crisis line, can I help you?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I don't know if I should be calling you. I just didn't know really who else to talk to.
Well, no, I'm glad you did call. What's your first name? My name is Andy.
My name's Gina.
Gina, you sound like you've got a lot of things on your mind.
Yeah, I guess I do. I just got home from work tonight, and I seem to be at the end of my rope.
My son was killed 6 years ago in a really bad auto accident, and today is his birthday. And I really felt like I was through all this, but I'm just having a really tough day today.
He came home at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we think. He put his stuff up in his room, went out to a kind of garden shed tool work area in the backyard, and hung himself. And I think he had made the decision at least a couple of days before, and perhaps even as long as a week before.
The 24-hour crisis line volunteers are trained to receive calls from people who are in emotional distress, from relationships, family pressures, job concerns, abuse, anxiety, depression, and more.
And if you start to feel badly, we're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can call the crisis clinic whenever you need to, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
Okay, good night.
Okay, thank you.
Because if we are truly successful, no voice will be left unheard.
After all these years, I'm ready for a change. I want to feel good about myself, and I want my family to be proud of me too, and think about their own education. The time is now or never.
I see this as an opportunity to learn some new skills. I felt that I was getting older and needed to connect myself with technology before I got left behind.
Being in a shelter was a very difficult time in my life. I was very lonely and scared, but now I'm learning how to get out of that situation. And I even get paid for it.
Nearly 5 million Americans suffer with heart failure. 400,000 new cases of heart failure are diagnosed each year. Last year, over 2,000 journal articles were published on heart failure. Half of all heart failure patients die within 5 years. There are more than 200 drug choices for treatment of heart failure. Systolic dysfunction accounts for nearly 80 to 90% of heart failure disease. Heart failure is a major public health concern that has led to numerous scientific studies, several new drugs, and over $10 billion being spent annually on care. With so much new information and new treatments available to care providers, it can be difficult to keep current. But recent national studies show that 2 simple changes to drug therapy and diagnostic testing can improve mortality and readmission rates as well as lower long-term costs. ACE inhibitors have been shown in multiple clinical trials to reduce mortality and readmission rates for patients with heart failure due to systolic dysfunction. Heart failure management guidelines recommend the use of ACE inhibitors for all patients who do not have contraindications, as well as the objective assessment and recording of left ventricular function. These objective assessments allow physicians to differentiate systolic dysfunction from some other cause of heart failure and provide information on disease progression. With these guidelines in mind, ProWest, a healthcare assessment and improvement organization under contract with the Healthcare Financing Administration, conducted a retrospective assessment of heart failure treatment in Washington State. A recent study in Washington discovered that nearly 1/3 of Medicare study patients admitted to the hospital for heart failure were either readmitted for heart failure or died within 6 months of discharge. ProWest results found that of those study patients admitted to hospitals for heart failure, 39% were not discharged on ACE inhibitors. In addition, 46% of patients did not receive tests of their ejection fraction. These tests help determine a patient's eligibility for ACE inhibitors. The ProWest study reveals that physicians may not be prescribing recommended ACE inhibitors to all patients who might benefit. Once more, physicians are not ordering and properly recording the results of recommended diagnostic tests, such as echocardiograms, that are essential in determining appropriate treatment.